Hi everyone! Welcome sa channel ko. Ako pala si Janus ng Pinoy Techdad. Today, pag-uusapan natin ang Motorola Moto X30 Pro. And this is the first 200 megapixel na camera na masusubukan natin dito sa channel. Totoo nga ba yung hype na maganda ang 200 megapixel camera as compared to your regular 108 versus 50 megapixels? Well, yan yung aalamin natin sa video na to. So this will be my initial impressions video and quick unboxing para sa Moto X30 Pro. Let's go!
Yeah, sunny days, no clouds in the sky, about to get away. Feels like it's been a freaking decade. Sorry, don't call me cause I'm gonna be on break. Sunny day, make way. All the stress and doubt, yeah, not today. Feels like it's been a freaking decade. Sorry, don't call me cause I'm gonna be on break. Got the Tropicana fresh cut sushi on a platter, brandy, honey, it don't matter shots. Till I drop, gonna be 24/7 golden hour like a boss. And they say, yo, guess you got a 2 o'clock appointment for a champagne shot, oh yeah. I'm busy trying to take it higher, got no time for never, only spending cheddar. Wish I could do this forever. Chilling with the hottest company, they all wanna welcome me to their private.
Okay guys, so simulan muna natin sa design nitong Moto X30 Pro and yung ports. Sa bottom part, nandyan yung SIM card tray natin, dual SIM of course. And then meron tayong USB-C charging port, a microphone, and a down-firing speaker. Yung secondary speaker pala nito is naka-integrate sa earpiece nitong phone. So it's not gonna be as loud as the down-firing speaker. And then on the right side, nandyan yung power button natin and yung volume rocker as well. Sa top naman, makikita nyo dito yung noise-canceling microphone. And on the left side, it's quite clean. Now, sa back part naman, dito ako medyo na-impress, no? Kasi medyo mind-boggling. Kasi when you touch it, akala mo may texture siya, pero hindi pala. Very smooth siya, but it's matte finish. So, hindi siya fingerprint and smudge magnet. And then yung cameras niya, meron tayong tatlo. This is highlighted by a 200 megapixel Samsung HP1 na bagong sensor. And then meron tayong 50 megapixel na ultra-wide. And then meron din tayong macro lens, which is something that I wouldn't really use. And then para lang pandagdag sa pagka-mind-boggling ng back panel nito, yung ginamit nila ng case dito is super awesome. So this one is very slim lang. Hindi talaga siya bulky. And then once you put it on the Moto X30 Pro, halos parang wala kang nilagay na case dito. So panalo sa akin, and it adds a little bit of a texture. So medyo grippy na siya compared sa smooth na surface ng back panel ng X30 Pro. Para sa akin, one of the best na hawakan sa isang kamay yung phone na to. So pagdating sa build and size ng isang flagship phone this year, para sa akin, I think this one is at the top of my list. And then next siguro yung Realme GT2 Pro, and the other phones follow. Now, just a quick spoiler alert, hype nga ba ang 200 megapixels na camera, na sensor, na Samsung HP1? The truth is, so far, yes. So, unless magkaroon tayo ng better implementation ng camera, this one didn't quite impress me as much. Hindi kayo mabubulaga, hindi kayo magugulat sa quality ng 200 megapixels na camera. Pero mabuti na lang at hindi lang patungkol sa 200 megapixels na camera itong Moto X30 Pro. Bagkus, napakarami pa nitong specs and features na dapat nyo malaman. Simulan natin sa chipset niya. So meron tong Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1. I think this is the first time na nag-review tayo or nag-feature tayo ng phone with the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 kasi yung Xiaomi 12S Ultra na pag-usapan natin dun sa other channel ko sa Top Down Tech. And so far, it's really good, guys. Kung ano man yung experience ko with the Xiaomi 12S Ultra na napakaganda ng thermals and napakaganda ng consistency and wala siyang throttling gaano, it's the same thing. So, yung TSMC manufacturing nitong Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, 2 thumbs up versus dun sa Samsung manufacturing ng 8 Gen 1. So, nakakatuwa na napaganda naman nila agad or na-improve nila yung thermals nitong 8 Plus Gen 1 when comparing it with the 8 Gen 1. So, kung performance lang ang kailangan nyo, 1 million and 22 benchmark points, that gives you an idea na sobra-sobra pa yung performance na kaya ng phone na to. So this will be your phone for several years. Yes, several years. Hindi lang po until next year, but until the year after that and so on. And then next naman is yung overall satisfaction ko with the UI. So surprisingly, this is the first time na nagkaroon ako ng My UI from Motorola and it's quite impressive. Since this one is a China ROM only, wala pa tayong global release. So may mga kasamang Chinese apps, napakarami po talaga. So I had to uninstall a lot of them. Napakadali lang i-uninstall. And after that, sobrang linis na ng my UI. And napakadali lang pong i-install ng Google Chrome and Google Play. So, you just have to type in Google Play dun sa App Store ng Motorola and it will appear and you just have to update it. And then the next step to that is you just have to activate it. Search nyo lang yung Google dun sa search bar sa settings and makikita nyo na yung Google. You can turn on the Google services and that's it. Na-enable mo na and pwede ka na mag-download ng apps from the Google Play Store. And speaking of apps, pwede ka mag-download ng Netflix dito and ma-enjoy mo yung full HD quality dahil meron na tong Widevine Level 1. Yes, hindi lang po yung Widevine Level 1 sa overall system but as well as Widevine Level 1 playback sa Netflix mismo. So, goods na goods kahit na China ROM ito. So, para sa akin, wala na pong talo dito kahit na wala pa tong global version. Approved na sa akin agad. Pero sa overall performance, guys, 100% matutuwa talaga kayo sa Moto X30 Pro. Sobrang ganda talaga ng performance niya. Wala akong na-experience na lag. Siguro the worst na na-experience ko is meron tayong konting issues when recording a video but mamaya natin pag-uusapan niya, ipapakita ko sa inyo what I'm talking about exactly. Pag-usapan rin muna natin saglit yung gaming. So wala pa akong gaanong extensive gaming experience with the Moto X30 Pro. Although nakapaglaro na ako ng Diablo, Mobile Legends, and some Genshin Impact. Unfortunately, napansin ko sa Diablo, may mga stuttering tayo na nangyayari. I'm pretty sure this is super capable pagdating sa Diablo kasi na-try ko na yan with the other chipsets. So maybe it's just something that needs to be optimized para sa Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1. And then unfortunately for Mobile Legends naman, wala pa tayo lahat na Ultra. So yeah, medyo kapos pa tayo sa settings sa Mobile Legends. But of course, overall, it's a very smooth experience. And then pagdating naman sa Genshin Impact, maasahan nyo na maganda yung performance. Wala naman akong experience na game-changing or game-breaking na FPS drops unlike the other phones that I've tried before. So very solid so far para sa Genshin Impact. So abangan nyo yung full review natin at talagang itetest natin yung mga games na yan maybe after a month. And then moving on sa camera nito. So ito na. Yung 200 megapixels na camera niya. Is it worth it kung ito lang yung habol mo? I would say hindi talaga. So para sa mga hindi nakakalam, I'm sure marami sa inyo nakakalam. Pero again, para sa hindi nakakalam, gumagamit kasi ang Moto X30 Pro ng pixel binning. So ano nga ba yung pixel binning? So this is a trick para mapalabas ng mga brands na mas malaki yung photo size. So for example, nung 108 megapixels pa lang tayo, it's a combination of several 12 megapixel photos. So pag zoom in mo, mas marami ka pang zoom in na magagawa dahil marami pang pixels ang natitira sa buong photo. So yun po yung advantage na pagkakaroon ng malaking pixel size in terms of taking photos. And yung idea na yan, it's the same thing with the 200 megapixels dito sa Poco X30 Pro. Why are they doing it? Do we need something as large as 200 megapixels sa isang picture? Para sa ating mga casual users, hindi po talaga. Unless magpapagawa ka ng super laking billboard na gusto mo sobrang linaw ng picture mo. If yun ang goal mo, why not go with a DSLR na lang? Dahil mas maganda pa rin yung outcome ng isang DSLR na professional na camera. So I'm not really sure kung ano yung purpose talaga ng 200 megapixels sa isang casual phone. It's more of just a gimmick right now. So curious ako makita kung paano i-implement ni Xiaomi ito sa 12T na phones nila. However, hindi po natin pwede i-judge itong Moto X30 Pro based on just its 200 megapixel camera. Dahil as a whole, maganda po talaga yung camera niya. Hindi lang po dahil sa 200 megapixels but overall maganda yung quality ng shots na pwede mo makuha with the X30 Pro. You just have to set aside the fact na nilabel nila ito as a 200 megapixel camera dahil without the label, maganda pa rin talaga yung outcome. For example, yung videos napakalinaw. Although, speaking of the videos, sa 4K 60 frames per second, napansin ko na meron pang kailangang i-improve dahil may mga ghosting or flickering na nangyayari which is super random. Hindi ko ma-determine kung bakit nangyayari to. But I'm pretty sure this is something that they can improve and adjust and fix through a software update. So I'll be waiting for that, and hopefully sa full review natin, maayos na yung 4K 60 frames per second. But overall, it's very stable. Goods to goods para sa akin yung video capability nitong Moto X30 Pro as well as yung overall photo capability niya rin. Siguro one of the problems lang that I would have to point out is meron pang kailangan i-adjust pagdating sa autofocus. So hindi siya kasing bilis mag-focus compared sa other cameras na na-try ko at the same price range. This is something that Motorola needs to address as well para gumanda at maging mas competitive pa siya lalo when compared to the other brands at this price point. Now, pagdating naman sa usapang display, this is definitely a gorgeous display. 144Hz refresh rate. Solid yan. Hindi ko pa nakikita yan sa isang OLED or AMOLED display na may 144Hz except for gaming phones. So the fact na nilagay nila yan dito sa Moto X30 Pro, which is a flagship overall casual phone, is another win for me. Napakaganda talaga, napaka-fluid na makikita mong display dito. And yung colors niya, they really pop out. Contrast is infinite. Black is truly black. I will always say that when it comes to OLED and AMOLED displays, you will definitely enjoy yung display ng Moto X30 Pro. Pero before I forget, baka sa iba pala maging big deal yung fact na this has curved edges. So hindi po flat yung edges itong Moto X30 Pro, curved edges. But this phone is very slim and napakagandang hawakan sa isang kamay. Alright, so next, usapang battery naman. Oh boy, I think this one, matutuwa talaga kayo. Kasi yung standby time nitong Moto X30 Pro is insane. So this phone lasted me for almost 2 days. So 1 hour and 23 hours before ako nag-charge. And meron pa tayong 19% at that point. And considering na meron na akong about 6 hours of screen on time by that point, maganda yung standby time niya and maganda talaga yung overall battery endurance niya so far. For casual use with some light gaming, some photos, and video taking, very good, very solid yung performance ito in terms of battery. And then once again, meron tayong super fast charging. Siguro under 20 minutes, tapos ka na mag-charge dito sa phone na to. Kaya masasabi ko talaga guys na hindi tayo naka-base lang sa 200 megapixels. And yes, well, gimmick yung 200 megapixels ng Moto X30 Pro. Yung overall package naman po niya is not a gimmick. Legit na legit at walang gimmick yung other features nitong Moto X30 Pro. So with that said, para sa akin so far, for my initial impressions, this one is a winner. So if you're looking for a phone na nasa 30,000 price range, hopefully bumaba pa to kasi medyo mataas yung presyo niya as of right now habang ginagawa ko yung review. But guys, check out the link in the description box. Maybe once you check it out, once you see this video, medyo bumaba na or magkaroon ng sale. But this is definitely something that I would highly recommend if you're looking for a solid phone and sawa ka na sa mga MIUI, sa Realme UI. Subukan nyo rin yung My UI, and yung build nitong Moto X30 Pro is very good. Napakaganda hawakan ng phone na to. This is, again, one of my favorite phones this year in terms of yung feel niya, yung overall package niya pagdating sa display, yung camera niya, even though gimmick lang yung 200 megapixels, yung overall camera quality naman niya, panalong-panalo. And yung chipset niya, Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1, goods para sa akin. Pero kung hindi pa rin kayo sigurado, huwag kayong mag-alala. Gagawan pa natin to ng follow-up review, maybe a long-term review with more gaming tests and then more camera samples, and hopefully ma-fix na nila yung mga errors na napansin ko so far habang bago pa tong device na to. Anyway, hopefully na-enjoy nyo yung video na to at may natutunan na naman po kayong bago. And kung gusto mo pang manood ng mga videos ko, meron po akong mga ililink dyan. I'm sure ma-enjoy nyo rin yan. So hanggang susunod, ako nga pala ulit si Janus na Pinoy Techdad. Kita-kita ulit tayo.
Yeah, sunny day,